Hello and welcome to the U.S. immigration news. Across the United States, thousands of immigrants are waiting for their green cards, waiting for work permits, and waiting for a sign that their paperwork is finally moving. But as we move deeper into 2025, one thing has become clear. The processing delays at USCIS for key forms like I-485, I-130 and I-765 are worse than ever. What was once a predictable 6-month process for some families has turned into a painful year-long wait for others. And behind every delay, there's a human story of jobs on hold, travel plans cancelled, and families living in uncertainty. In this video, we'll explain why the USCIS processing times for the I-485, I-130, and I-765 have slowed down in 2025, what's happening behind the scenes inside the immigration system, and what applicants can realistically expect moving forward. If you are liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Now let's get into the video. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, has faced backlogs before, but what's happening now is different. After years of pandemic-era slowdowns, hiring gaps, and shifting policies between administrations, the agency is still struggling to stabilize its workflow. The Trump administration's earlier tightening of immigration systems left behind a deep procedural footprint, and even years later, those layers of verification and security review continue to stretch processing timelines far beyond what applicants expect. Let's start with Form I-485, the Adjustment of Status application. This is the heart of the green card process for those already living in the U.S. Normally, the timeline runs between 8 and 14 months, depending on the field office. But in 2025, many applicants are reporting wait times of over 20 months. Some have had their biometrics completed and even received their work permits, yet their green card interviews remain unscheduled. The reason, according to multiple USCIS sources, is uneven staffing across field offices. Certain cities, like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, handle tens of thousands of pending I-485 cases each month. Despite hiring efforts, these offices still haven't caught up with the surge in filings that began in late 2023, when USCIS reopened faster filing channels under the Biden administration. As a result, while smaller offices are completing cases faster, big city applicants are seeing their files move painfully slow. Now, the I-130, the Petition for Alien Relative, might sound simple, but it's one of the most overwhelmed forms in the USCIS system. The I-130 is how a U.S. citizen or permanent resident sponsors a family member for a green card. In theory, this form is just the first step, but in practice, it sets the pace for the entire process. For petitions filed inside the U.S., the average timeline used to hover around 7 to 10 months. Today, that average has doubled in some service centers. For example, California and Texas service centers are now processing I-130s for U.S. citizens sponsoring spouses in nearly 16 to 18 months. Some even cross the 2-year mark. What's causing the jam? Part of it lies in the security vetting systems, the interagency checks between USCIS, the FBI, and the Department of State. These databases are more integrated than ever, which is good for national security but bad for efficiency. Each name, address, and document goes through multiple cross-checks before approval, and any small mismatch can pause a case for weeks. Add in the occasional RFE, a request for evidence, and months can slip away before the file even reaches the NVC for the next step. Then there's the I-765, the Employment Authorization Document or Work Permit. For many immigrants, this piece of paper is their lifeline. Without it, they can't legally work, renew driver's licenses, or access certain benefits. During the Trump administration, processing times for the I-765 were deliberately slowed as part of a larger strategy to tighten immigration control. When the Biden administration took over, there was a massive effort to reverse that, and for a brief period in 2024, things did improve. But as we've entered 2025, new data shows those gains are slipping again. Current reports suggest that the average I-765 under the adjustment of status category now takes between 6 and 10 months, even when filed with premium or concurrent I-485 applications. Many applicants who applied in early 2025 are still waiting for their first approval notices as winter approaches. A USCIS internal memo leaked earlier this year suggested one key reason: the introduction of a new automated document verification system meant to reduce fraud actually slowed the process temporarily. The system, known internally as VeraCheck, was designed to cross-match employment authorization data with other immigration records before approval. While it adds a valuable layer of security, it also added weeks to the review pipeline during its rollout. Another issue fueling the delays is the budget structure of USCIS itself. Unlike most federal agencies, USCIS operates primarily on fees paid by applicants. When filing numbers fluctuate, so does the agency's revenue. After the pandemic and political shifts, USCIS has struggled to maintain consistent staffing levels, leading to hiring gaps that are now catching up with the system. Even though fee increases were announced earlier this year, the benefits, more hiring, more digital systems, will take time to appear. For applicants, the waiting is personal. A couple in Texas waiting for an I-485 interview after 16 months. A mother in the Philippines waiting on her I-130 approval for her son. A student in New Jersey who lost her job because her I-765 renewal didn't arrive on time. These aren't just statistics, they are everyday lives placed on hold by a system moving slower than ever. The agency has publicly acknowledged the issue. USCIS Director Jadu stated earlier this year that significant backlog reduction remains a top priority, but she also admitted that digital transformation and case handling reforms take time. USCIS has promised that by mid-2026, more than 80% of all applications will be processed through fully electronic systems, potentially reducing manual delays and lost paperwork. But for now, most cases are still caught in the half-digital, half-paper transition, an awkward middle ground that causes confusion and longer wait times. Some applicants wonder whether premium processing could be the solution. Unfortunately, not all forms qualify. While certain I-140 petitions and some I-765 categories can use premium processing, most family-based I-130 or I-485 filings cannot. This means that even those willing to pay extra are still left waiting in the same line. Many attorneys are now advising clients to prepare for delays longer than what the official USCIS website lists. For instance, while the online tool might show a 12-month timeline, in reality, cases often take several months beyond that. They also emphasize that filing complete, clean applications with no missing evidence or inconsistent information is the best way to avoid unnecessary RFEs that can set you back even further. There's also a growing concern about uneven processing between service centers. Some centers like Potomac are moving cases significantly faster than others. Unfortunately, applicants cannot choose their service center. It's assigned based on location and workload distribution. This means two people filing identical cases on the same day may end up on completely different timelines. In the bigger picture, all these delays raise deeper questions about how the immigration system is being managed ahead of another major election year. Some analysts believe that internal caution, partly due to political pressure from the Trump administration's policy influence, has made USCIS officers more conservative in their review approach. Others argue that the agency is simply overburdened by outdated infrastructure. Either way, applicants are the ones paying the price, in both time and peace of mind. If you're waiting on your I-485, I-130, or I-765 this year, the best thing you can do is stay informed. Track your case online regularly, sign up for USCIS account alerts, and watch for updates to your service center's processing time reports. If your case goes beyond the outside normal processing time window, you can submit an inquiry online. And if nothing moves, consider reaching out to your local congressional office. Many applicants have had success getting their cases reviewed after a congressional inquiry. Behind all the paperwork, there's still movement. Every week, thousands of approvals are issued, interviews scheduled, and green cards delivered. The system might be slow, but it hasn't stopped. For those still waiting, patience and preparation remain your strongest allies as USCIS continues to adapt and recover from years of structural strain. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration News Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas, such as B1 and B2, work visas such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Immigration News channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.